Welcome to Late Night Sports, and this is our first ever interview with Abington's own Steve Perakslis, former professional baseball pitcher.
Thanks for having us,
Steve,
boys.
how you doing? How's your quarantine going?
You know, quarantine's going. It's going as best as it can, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone's healthy, so that's the big what's the word for the big thing. So
Yeah, most important.
Yeah, most important. That's it, Johnny.
So let's dive right in. So when did you first fall in love with baseball?
Well, I mean, I would say at a very, very young age. It was something that really connected me, my dad, and my brother. So it was a good. I would say probably around the age of 5. The age of 5, we'd go outside the backyard. We lived up the street from the field, so we had a lot of very easy access. So it was just a very fun activity for us, and it's still in our family today.
Oh yeah, that baseball culture I don't think it'll ever leave your family.
No, I don't think so either.
I think your dad will be in his 90s still coaching the high school too.
Oh yeah. He will be there forever.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Not a doubt in my mind about that one.
And at what point did you realize when you were playing baseball that you had that kind of talent, that you knew you can do something well with it?
Yeah. Well, when I was growing up, I mean, I still pitched. Don't get me wrong, but my love was hitting, playing either shortstop or second base. So, once it came time for me to really figure out, I can make a career out of this, for a little while, probably my junior year, because my freshman and sophomore year in high school, I was mostly playing second base and shortstop. Didn't pitch a whole lot. We had a lot of sophomores, juniors, and seniors who were ahead of me. So I would pitch certain games or come out of the bullpen. But once I found out, this is legitimate, was probably around my junior season of high school.
Nice.
Did your dad's presence as a great coach help you achieve your goals, or was it by yourself?
No. I wouldn't even be close to where I am if it wasn't for him. He, in my opinion, having your dad as your coach is a blessing. It has its pros and its cons, just like everything does. But it was very easy for me to stay after, and once you hit a certain age, your dad becomes, from a sports aspect, your dad becomes the last person that you want to hear advice from. You're very easy to listen to what he's saying in one ear and have it just slide right out the other. But when you bring in another figure, a different coach who sees something, and he can be saying the exact same thing that my dad just did, but I don't know why this is, but just hearing your dad, you're like, okay, Dad, whatever. Then when you hear someone else say oh, but all along, he was right the whole time. But no, I am very, very thankful for all that he's done for me, on and off the field.
Awesome. You were bringing it up how you played shortstop and second base during high school. Was pitching always your top spot, or was playing the infield more of your best spot in the field?
Yeah. I would say, my love was playing the infield, but my spot was for sure on the mound. It was, I feel as if our team was in a better position to win. I mean, we had really great talent all the way around. You know, we had Hitchcock in center field, but he was our other pitcher. Zach Littman would play shortstop when I pitched, and then when I pitched, he would go to the outfield. So he was very versatile. But you know, from a team standpoint, it was better for us in the grand scheme of things if I was on the mound.
You guys also won a state championship too.
We did.
So you guys were pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to add something about that state championship game. I watched that. They had it on the Advocate Cam a little bit ago. I was joking around with how bad were the umpires during that game.
Yeah. Well, I don't think a lot of people know this is that game was supposed to start, I believe, at either 10 or 11 a.m. And they didn't show the umpires didn't show up for like a half hour. Like we were so delayed. And, you know, so, I mean, like right off the bat, the umpires leave a sour taste in your mouth.
Especially as a pitcher.
Yeah, well, we were actually the away team there. So, you know, yeah, it kind of messed up the flow of, like, your pregame routine and everything. But, you know, just like your adrenaline. You know, you get there, you're all hyped up, you're stretching with your teammates, you're having fun, you're trying to stay loose, and then you get loose, you do everything, and then you gotta sit there and you gotta wait, and you gotta wait, and you gotta wait. But you know, that team was the best team that I've played on in sports.
Really?
You know, yeah. We had a certain camaraderie that, you know, is very rare. The majority of us played either football or basketball or soccer as well. So, you know, we were teammates before the season started, you know. And going back to my junior year, the 2008 team, we had eight out of the 9 starters. So once the 2008 season concluded, you know, we had all of our team back for the majority of it. We lost our first baseman, and then we ended up bringing up a freshman for the replacement. But, you know, in the high school game, experience plays a big role. So, you know, we knew that we had a chance to really do something special that year.
Wow.
So kind of like moving to like college, was there any like high level college teams that came out to scout you?
Yeah. Trying to think. To be honest with you, at least back when I was being recruited, you know, it was very based off your region. So, you know, being a baseball player in the Northeast, you know, at that time, the school that you're looking for is the University of Connecticut. You know, you got George Springer coming out of there, Matt Barnes coming out of there, some big names. So that's the big school in our region, and they did offer me a scholarship, but I decided to turn it down. But I would say the biggest school that I had contact with was actually a Division II school, the University of Tampa Bay. From a baseball standpoint, you know, they were the big school that I had contact with. You know, I had offers from Fordham over in New York, Temple in Philadelphia, Maine. Obviously, that's where I went. UMass Amherst, I didn't really hear from them, but I mean there were some big schools, but not really big baseball schools per se.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Getting an offer from University of Connecticut. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was highly thinking about it, but you know, school is not good. So, you know, when it comes down to being offered a scholarship from the University of Maine for X amount or the University of Connecticut for X amount, you think, okay, 6, 7, 8 years down the road, you should probably take the scholarship money.
Exactly.
And as I look back of it, going to the University of Maine was the right choice. It was a lot of fun. I made some really good friends, and also had a pretty good career there. So it was fun.
Nice. Before we go on to your college days, I wanted to, you brought up earlier how you said some of your other teammates play football and soccer. Did
Yeah.
you play any other high school sports other than baseball?
Yeah. I played football. My high school career. My freshman year, I played basketball, and of the 3 sports, basketball was my least favorite to play. So I played my freshman year. Wasn't all too excited to play throughout my whole high school career. So what I decided to do was play football in the fall and in the winter, and then after football, and to just concentrate on baseball. There was a facility when I was growing up over in Rockland where I would after school go and work out there in the off season to prepare for the baseball season.
That seemed like it worked out for you.
Yeah. It was fun. When it came time to get the other kids on my team to participate, it was very convenient because it was only like 5-10 minutes. So going into the season, the majority of our team probably had, I don't know, 1,000 or so swings each. So before we even took the field, we were pretty much in mid-season form.
So how hard was like the jump from high school to college? If there was any difficulties.
There was definitely a jump. When you go to the University of Maine nowadays, it's not the University of Maine in the 80s. In the 80s, the University of Maine was like a Vanderbilt, a baseball powerhouse, going to the College World Series all the time. It was basically like a shoo-in. But going to the University of Maine in 2009, it's not looked upon as a baseball school anymore. It's more like a hockey school. So right out of the gate, we were playing teams like University of North Carolina, Florida State, Oregon State. So my first appearance collegiately was at a school called Lamar University in Texas. And as soon as we hopped off the bus, there were people in the parking lot tailgating, and they didn't care who was walking in. They let you have it. But I remember my first outing. I came out of the bullpen. It was an extra innings, and there were 2 outs. I came in. There were 2 outs. Guys on first and third, and before I even threw a pitch in college, I picked off the guy at first base, and I can't tell you the weight that was on my shoulders coming in was just gone. And then after you get the first out, you feel a little bit more comfortable. So had it not been for that pickoff, who knows what would have happened. But then you move on. And I started against Oregon State. And at the time, Oregon State was like top 2 or 3 in the country. And I found out what real college baseball was all about. It was a tough first outing. But as soon as you get comfortable, things start to slow down a little bit for you. So, after the first, 20, 30 innings, that's when I started to slow the game down. and pick up on certain rhythms and get into a routine. So it came a little easier.
Nice. So now we're gonna kick over to when you were drafted. How many years did you spend in college? First, I wanted to make sure we clarify that.
3 years. 3 years.
Came out as a junior.
Yeah.
Where were you when you were drafted? What was your reaction? Drafted in the 21st round, I'm correct?
Yeah, in the 21st round. Hearing your name being drafted after all like the hard work and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes it's an indescribable feeling. So when it happened, I was ecstatic. I was like a little kid on Christmas. It was fun. I was at home with my mom and dad, so that was fun that I got to share it with them.
When did you think like I could become a pro?
I would say after my sophomore year. My
college?
I'm sorry, of college. My freshman year didn't go according to plan. It's kind of crap. Things aren't going my way. It's very easy to just shut it all down. But my sophomore year was a really good year. And then that's when at the end of your sophomore year, at the end of my sophomore year in college, I played in the Cape Cod League for Wareham.
Some good baseball.
I'm sorry?
That's some good baseball down there.
Yeah. That is the cream of the crop right there. It's a fun summer. So I played for Wareham. Had a really good year. Came out of the bullpen for the most part. I started a couple times, and then that's when I started talking to teams. Hearing what they're looking for in a pitcher and this and that. So I would say it was a little bit more of a push for me to really hit the weights in the summertime and really not focus more on just throwing as hard as I possibly can, but learning how to pitch. And it's a lot harder than it looks on TV.
Yeah, I bet it is, definitely. I tried doing that my freshman year.
Yeah.
The reason why with the outfield. So we're talking about when you were drafted. So you started out in rookie ball. How was your first game?
My first game, it was good. I'm trying to remember. We were playing Oakland in my first professional appearance. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a scoreless inning. I think I struck out one person. One person reached on error, and then I got like a fly out or a ground out. But rookie ball it's not what I thought it was going to be. There's really no one in the stands. So you go from playing in college to you got a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand people in the stands. So there's like something to hearing the moans and the groans of the audience is something that can definitely play a role on your adrenaline. But rookie ball is it's more of like a developmental league, really. Here's your shot. Here's your first what's the word I'm looking for here?
Experience.
Yeah, experience. Show us what you got, and if we like you, then we're gonna invite you to what's called instructs, and instructs is after the rookie ball season. You come home for a couple weeks, and then you go back to instructs. And at that time, the MLB postseason is going on. So if your parent club, so for me, it's like the Cubs. if your parent club is in the playoffs, the front office people will be there. If you're so you can like communicate with some of the higher ups, and they can slowly like walk you through their system. This is what we expect. This is what we want you to get done, and it's fun time.
What were like your struggles like early on in pro baseball,
In pro ball?
if there were any?
Oh no, yeah, there were. The big thing that, and I preach this to the kids that I coach in AAU in high school, is walks kill. Walks will do nothing good for you. So if you walk somebody, you're just asking to dig yourself out of a hole. Now, obviously, walk's a part of the game, so it's really just trying to limit them. So I would say I threw strikes a lot. So, I was one of those guys that works quick. I'm going to pitch the contact. I'm going to get guys out. But I would say the struggles at first were, trying to stay consistent. Because, consistency is a big part of sports. And if you are up and down all the time, it's tough to rely on you. But to answer your question, I would say the hard part was trying to stay even keeled. You don't want to get too high when things are going well, and you don't want to get too down when you're struggling, because the sport of baseball is a game of failure. So if you can cope and fight through the struggles, and not be too comfortable when things are going well, then you're going to be all set.
Cool. All right, so my next question I got here, this is a pretty interesting one here. When was the first time that you said to yourself, you really just pitched against such like one of those great players that was going up to be in the majors?
Yeah. To be completely honest with you, pitching in college is a lot more intimidating than pitching professionally.
Really?
Because when you grow up, there are, and you're watching sports, in football, it's Alabama and Clemson. And you walk onto these campuses and you see, the weight rooms and, all the history, the Hall of Fame and this and that. So, when you're pitching in college, you don't really you don't really focus on the name of the player. You focus on the name of the school. But professionally, you don't. You really don't care, because everyone is at that same level as you. When you're pitching in low A, what's a good name of that? I got here. Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa is in low A. When you're in high A, Aaron Judge is also in high A. I faced Aaron Judge when he was in 2014 in a high A, and to be completely honest with you, I didn't even know who he was. he was just this massive person sitting in the batter's box, and I didn't think two things about him, to be honest with you. But to really answer your question, 2016 spring training, the Cubs go to Las Vegas every year, and they mostly play either the A's or the Mets. There's usually a weekend where you would go up, and I was very fortunate. I went to Vegas, I think 3 times with a team, and it's a blast. But we were playing the Mets in a night game in Las Vegas, and when you're not a major league invite, you don't really get scheduled innings. It's just if the starter can only go 2 innings, and the guys in major league camp are have to move up, then the minor league guys who are there as backups really they just get thrown into it. But this one particular time, I was assigned an inning, and we were facing the Mets, and I faced Michael Conforto.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first guy I faced. I struck him out.
Wow. Nice.
So after I struck him out, the catcher throws it around the infield, and I'm like, wow, that was Michael Conforto. That's him. And then the next guy I face is Asdrubal Cabrera.
Mm-hmm.
And he hits a chopper to the first baseman, and the lights are so bright at this stadium that the first baseman dropped it as Cabrera reached on an error. And then I faced Travis Darno, or how you pronounce his last name, the catcher, first baseman for the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
And I get him to ground out to a inning double play. And so there's 3 outs, and I'm walking back into the dugout, and it hadn't really sit in yet, but then I get to the dugout, and there's Joe Madden, and I shake Joe Madden's hand, and he was very complimentary. At the time, the pitching coach was Chris Boz something. Boz, I forget what his name is, but he was the Cubs pitching coach, and normally the major league pitching coach, when a minor league guy gets brought up and has to be thrown in, he just shakes his hand and says, "Good job." But this particular time, the pitching coach and Joe Madden came up to me. I was sitting in the on the bench. Joe Madden sat to my left, and the pitching coach went to my right, and they were extremely complimentary. So that was a really good feeling.
Wow. That's incredible. Though.
Yeah, that's incredible. Nice, smooth inning, pretty much.
Yeah.
You must have felt like on top of the world.
Yeah. That was a very fun night. And it was also being televised, so my mom and my family were able to watch it online.
So as a pro, what was one of your best or funniest memories or stories?
It's probably enough that you can't say on here.
Yeah, if you can say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say my best memories are not necessarily suitable here, but playing professional baseball, it's fun. You are being paid to play a game in which everyone pretty much plays growing up. With that being said, the hard part about playing professional baseball is that you're being paid to play. It's a job. But it's not necessarily a job where you are either rewarded or I guess, yeah. I mean, you're not necessarily rewarded for your success sometimes, and that's probably the biggest headache playing professional baseball.
Cool. So you played a decent amount of time overseas and in different countries, correct? I'm looking at your baseball reference stats right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you played in Italy, Puerto Rico, a little bit of Venezuela, it looks like as well.
Yeah.
What was your experiences playing overseas in different countries?
Latin America treats baseball um, like we as Americans treat like the championship series, like the NBA Game 7, the crowd's all riled up. NHL Game 7, the crowd's all riled up. World Series, the crowd doesn't stop. Over in Latin America, especially Venezuela, there are live bands going on. There are people screaming. It's a fun atmosphere. When you are playing well, the crowd loves you and they support you and they do all this. Now on the flip side, when you're not doing well, they let you know. So, you really gotta try and stay consistent, especially playing over in Venezuela. Playing in Puerto Rico was, I mean, it was fun. I played over there the past 2 winters. Unfortunately, due to all the hurricanes, they don't necessarily pack as well as you would think. You play in these very, very nice stadiums, but no one can really afford to go. But when you get to the playoffs, it's a little better. Now, last summer I played over in Italy, and you know they have what's called the European Cup, which is a tournament of the best baseball teams over in Europe. Now, when you think Europe and sports, you think soccer, but baseball's slowly growing over there. They have academies for like the younger crop, the next generation. But playing over in Italy was fun. It was very, very easy going too. Not necessarily the games were, but you only play on Friday, Saturdays. You have Sunday and Monday off. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you practice for a couple hours a day, and that's it. So, you can really take advantage of off the field stuff over in Italy. And when I was making the decision to play over in Italy, that's more of like a end of the career type decision you make. You know what I mean? So not a lot of people come from Italy to come back over and play in the United States. So the decision that I made, I was very, very happy with it.
Didn't you win the European Cup a couple times?
Yes, we did. We won the European Cup, and then we ended up winning the Italian League as well. So it was a very fun summer. Got some cool ribbons.
What was where is like your favorite place to play overseas or country?
I would say Puerto Rico and Italy are tied. Only because you can really get like the full experience. Like, especially going over to Italy, you have to pay a good amount of money to go over there and explore. I was very fortunate that, the team paid for me to go over there. They housed me, they gave me a car. So, for like the whole experience, like experiencing the on and off the field aspect of it, I would say a tie between Puerto Rico and Italy. When I was playing over in Venezuela, we all know what's going on over in Venezuela the past couple of years. There is no off the field. You go to the hotel. I'm sorry. You come from the hotel. You go to the field. After the game is over, you go to the hotel. Next morning, you go from the hotel to the field, and it's just a ongoing circle. So, but yeah, I would definitely say, and then obviously too, in Puerto Rico, we won the championship, and in Italy too. So that was fun.
Do you plan on pitching again professionally?
No.
No?
I don't plan on it. I am very fortunate. I am supposed to be getting married in November. So
Congratulations.
yeah, well, thank you. Hopefully it happens, but what's going on. So there are some people who I've played with that can't the transition from playing professional baseball to going to a regular job and having a normal life isn't easy. But for me, the 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 transition is a little easier for me. So I think it's ready to move on to the next chapter. I mean, if by some miracle it happens and the timing is right, then I would like to talk about it with her. But I think it's time.
As long as you don't forget to pick her up at the airport again.
Yeah, my bad.
So you were just hired before this whole lockdown happened to be the head coach over at Spellman, when I'm correct on that. Do you have any other future plans to go along with that you're looking forward to do?
Yeah, are you looking to move up and go big time, or do you want to keep it at high school level like your dad?
Yeah.
Or kind of seeing where the future has.
I'm not really sure. At the time, well, let's take it back for a second. Last baseball season was a lot of fun. I was the assistant coach of the Abington team, and we had a lot of success. And I truly believe that the Abington team this year was going to compete for a state championship. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I mean, looking back and comparing the 2020 team to the 2009 team, the 2020 team had the pitching depth, it had the experience, it had the hitting, it had the coaching. And comparing that to the 2009 team, it's very, very similar. So there wasn't a doubt in my mind that the Abington team was going to do something special. Now, when the job over at Spellman opened up, I was thinking about going for it, but I really wanted to be a part of this team. Not necessarily to relive the 2009 season, but to hang one more banner in the high school gym and put another year on the state championship scoreboard that the team has, and also to celebrate that with my brother and the old man would have been cool. But when the job over at Spellman opened up, I knew some of the kids over at Spellman, and the team was gonna be an improvement of the 2019 Spellman team. So it was a challenge, and
I would hope.
Yeah. So it was a challenge, and I've always wanted to get into coaching, especially at the high school level, at least to start.
You've got a pretty good role model.
Yeah, I did. And it's very rare that a varsity coaching position presents itself. And then you add in the factor of it's very close to home. I know of jobs, on the North Shore, down towards the Cape area where head coaching vacancies were there. And I didn't contemplate it, but let's say that I didn't go for the Spellman job, and as much as I love being an assistant to my dad, he isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So I would like to build my resume as a head coach. So the decision to leave Abington wasn't an easy decision. It was more of an opportunity to see how I do as a head coach, and then if things were to go well, and I wanted to get into coaching over in college, I would at least have some experience at a lower level. So I don't know if I would go into college coaching, but I would definitely leave that door open.
Yep. From like our last season, 2019, I'm sure you're gonna do good as a head coach of Spelman.
Yeah. I want to bring up before you go on the next question, John. I wanted to bring up. I think John and I both agree. A lot of us agree. A lot of the team was like sad to see you leave, but like we're all like happy to see that you got something big like that. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of the kids on the team shot me a text. And obviously, when I was working over in school, there were some awkward conversations. Not only
colorful ones too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely colorful. And it wasn't just like the kids on the baseball team. There were some girls on the softball team that were calling me a traitor, and it's fun to talk about it. And I know that part of them means it, but the majority of it are like, congratulations, this and that. So, it was
just
fun.
had to go to Spelman though.
Yeah, had to go to Spelman. But here's the thing: is that as of right now, Abington is Division 4, Spelman's Division 3. So of course we will always play each other every year. Only Abington and Spelman won't play each other in the tournament. So at least as of right now. So there's always that.
And for my last question, what's it like being able to look yourself up on Baseball Reference?
Not gonna lie to you, I never have.
Really?
I never looked at myself on Baseball Reference. While I was playing, personally, I think numbers are deceiving. As a pitcher, you look at the box score, and he threw 9 innings, gave up 1 hit, and struck out 8. Walked, 2. But what the box score doesn't show is I fell behind on every single hitter. 20 out of the 27 outs were very well struck balls. Maybe a couple home runs were going to be hit, but the center fielder made a great play. And then on the flip side, you say, okay, well, he threw a third of an inning, gave up 9 runs, gave up 10 hits, but not one ball was hit well. Maybe a couple of hits should have been errors. A couple of balls were flares over the third baseman's head. But while I was playing, I told myself that I could look at my stats at the All-Star break and at the end of the season. Because then, the season ends at the All-Star break. In the minor leagues, you have a first half and a second half. Mm-hmm. So the season technically ends at the All-Star break, and then it starts brand new. Everyone has a clean slate. So, while I was playing, I didn't want to look at my numbers. But now that you say that, I'll probably look at my career numbers from time to time, just to check it out.
Mm-hmm. Especially once you get kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Something they can always look at.
Yep.
Andrew, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I got one final question. What do you got to say for kids that are looking to become someone like you that wants to go pro or at least make it to a very high-level college program? What do you want to say to those people?
When anyone sets forth a goal, there's especially growing up in the Abington community, there are endless what's what I'm looking for here. There are there's a lot at your disposal. You know, you can ask for help. You can go out to this beautiful new gym and new turf field and work out. You know, I would just say if you're truly want to go far, you have to be able to put in the work. You know, a lot of people didn't see or don't see the behind the scenes work. You know, I personally didn't get to where I was because I showed up on the field and had excellent days. There were times where me and my dad or me and some of the kids on the team were there taking swings after swing after swing, and then throwing nonstop. You know, you really have to build a routine, and if you stick to that routine, you know, good things will happen. If you put in the work, good things will happen. So if you're gonna go for a goal, you really got to be able to, you know, conquer the beginning steps, and don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 15. You know, everything will come. Just, you know, don't give up.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Steve.
No problem. It was a pleasure, boys.
Fun. Make sure to check us out on our YouTube page at Late Night Sports. Smash that subscribe button. Until next time, peace.
See you, boys.